St. Thomas of Villanova is one of our largest Catholic high schools, enrollment of approximately 1,200 students. Offers many different course options. Approximately 40 to 45 classes are offered this semester. Half of the population that could be attending in September the 8th would be 600 in this large building. So one can see how physical distancing protocols will be in place throughout the hallways. In individual classrooms, such as a regular classroom, all desks, meaning 30 desks, will be in a classroom labeled with stickies, period 1 and period 2. So if you have approximately 15 students in the classroom, they will sit at a desk labeled period 1. The other period coming in for period 2, those students will sit at the period 2 labeled desks. The enhanced cleaning will occur between the two cohorts. So for you to know just the sense of what we're looking at for the adaptive model for secondary school, it's called a quadmester, which means you're dealing with half the student population. Usually our secondary schools have a semester system of 4 periods in a day. Quadmester is going to have 2 periods, period 1 and period 2. Blocks are 2 time blocks, approximately 9 weeks in length, 45 days. September 8th to November the 11th would be the first block for period 1 and 2, including 2 exams. November 12th to February 1st would be the next block, period 3 and 4, with 2 exams. So once you start a quad semester, you have to finish a quad semester. So it's basically from September until February 1st. The rationale for cohorting is to be able to facilitate contact tracing amongst the students in the 2 periods in each cohort. With only 2 periods, there's less transition time and less direct and indirect contact with students. So it's important to note, if you have a child or an adolescent in grade 9 or 10, those courses are more compulsory. So you will have 6 out of your 8 courses that are compulsory, which means you have more of a likelihood of having your student peers within your own class going from period 1 to period 2. So again, less cohort tracing, less direct and indirect tracking. So you have to kind of visualize when we walk down the hallway to the right side and follow the arrows. These are physical adaptations that our secondary students will have to keep in mind when they come back to school. Physical distancing is one. Cohorting, as I mentioned, cohort A and cohort B. Wearing masks is required for all students. Emphasis on hand hygiene and enhanced cleaning. This is all following the recommendations from sick kids as well as our chief medical officers, both provincially and locally. Other important factors assisting us as we move forward to return to school in September: signage. As you came in through the front doors, you would have seen a few of our signs about physical distancing, making sure you're not sick as you enter into the building. We looked at entrances in this building with Principal Facineri. 3 entrances will be used for the 600 students: the front entrance, the music entrance, and the actual receiving end. Depending on the size of the school, some of our secondary schools, such as Holy Names, will have 5 entrances based on the wings, and every student will be told before school which entrance they're to come in. Washrooms, as you will see today, a male and a female washroom, how they had to be physically adapted as far as looking at signage in front of a sink and as well as hand hygiene going into the washroom. Hallways, there'll be 2 directional arrows for students to see visually, as well as the staircase. Classrooms, as we mentioned, desks will be labeled. Access furniture will have to be removed. Specialized classrooms such as construction, auto, cosmetology, science labs, culinary, IT computer labs, all have to be looked at from a revisit for physical adaptation. Next week, we're going to be releasing our pre-registration survey, and that is when we'll know how many students, teachers, students and parents will be opting into the in-class learning component versus opting out and staying at home with the in-home learning component. Once we know that information, then we'll be getting clear direction through the ministry regarding our remote learners around that synchronous, real-time learning and asynchronous learning, meaning online assignments are going to be given to students. So those kind of questions around remote learners will be becoming more clear as we get more information about our answers to our pre-reg survey from our parents of who's opting in and who's opting